Welcome to this special, I don't want to call it emergency edition. I hate that term, emergency. It's not emergency, but unexpected edition of the Real Deal podcast on a Sunday. We are recording this on the 5th of February in the evening. Of course, I'll be honest with you folks. I did not expect to anticipate to record this episode or this podcast. But when another Brooklyn net gets traded, I get called into duty, and we'll talk about that. I'm not going to keep you long. I debated whether or not to even call this episode 869, but I'm trying to get to 900. So we need all. I'm taking all episodes and count. They all count. All episodes matter. Kyrie Irving, of course, is going to the Dallas Mavericks. It was reported today, just a couple hours ago. So he goes to Dallas. Brooklyn gets Spencer Dinwiddie and two unprotected picks. 2029 first rounder, 2027, 2020, 2029 first round, and a 2027 first round draft picks. 2029 first round pick, and a 2027, 2029 second round picks. Let's put the Brooklyn part side here for a second. Let's just deal with Kyrie. When he demanded the trade a couple of days ago, I believe it was on Friday. Seems like it was long. Seems like it was longer than that, but it happened on Friday. My initial thought was, here we go again. Kyrie being Kyrie, like, what are you doing? Um, is this your way to get paid? You're not. There's no way that anybody's gonna give you a check. There's no way you're gonna get paid doing this. And it made sense because this is who Kyrie is. Like, you were on a team that before Kevin Durant got hurt was playing as well as any team in the league and was one of the favorites to win a championship. All you had to do was sit tight, continue the ball, go to the All-Star game. Kevin Durant's coming back soon, and go about your business. No, 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 no. That's too simple for Kyrie. Kyrie Irving says, "Look, I played most of my games. I want to get my money. I want my money, basically, like right now." Um, and I've been playing like on an all-star level, which he had to know. Like, listen, he's been an all-star this year. He's played at an all NBA caliber level. So that's not trying to take anything away from his performance this year. He's played great when he's been on the court. And he's played, let's look at his availability. Right here, he's played 40 games out of what's their record here? He's been available. He has not missed a lot. He has not missed a lot of time. I'm looking at the Nets record. I don't know how many games the Nets have played, but he's played 40 out of a possible 52 games. So well, I mean, you would have chalked that up. Yeah, that's about, you know, that's fine. That's like I mean, you might have had that number a little bit higher, but so be it. Um, so initially I thought, like, what, like, dude, like, what is he doing? Like, what is the end game here? But this is how desperation and incompetency can kind of like can kind of block out what a person or what a situation actually deserves. The incompetency of the Dallas Mavericks, the desperation of the Dallas Mavericks are beneficial to Kyrie Irving, are going to be beneficial to Kyrie Irving because, and I could have said that about the Lakers too. Lakers have been a train wreck in terms of how they've been run. So has Dallas, for that matter. Dallas has been a joke in terms of how they've been run. They lucked up into Luka because of the incompetency of the Phoenix Suns as well as the Sacramento Kings. No, more so the Kings and the Hawks who passed on Luka in that 2018 draft. So they lucked into Luka. That was not skill to pick out Luka Doncic, who's a generational talent. But that franchise has been on and off court. That franchise has been a joke. So in today's NBA, You can show your ass like Kyrie has shown his ass, and frankly, still get your way. Like Kyrie is one half. He is one half. He's close to his goals. I'm sure he had two goals here: get paid or get traded, and get traded or get traded. He's gotten traded. The second part will be a little bit more difficult, but he's almost there in terms of getting paid. And Dallas, and you're saying, well, how's Kyrie gonna get his money? Because Dallas does not draw free agents. Period. They couldn't even get Jordan, the center. I forget his last name, first name now. The center from the Clippers. DeAndre Jordan. That's his name. Couldn't even get him. So they don't draw free agents. Even if they had cap space, they just don't. So he's in a position of power because all he have to do, like literally, all he have to do is show up and play basketball. And I'm not going to get into like with their lineup. Like they in the Western Conference. The Western Conference right now is wide open. You get Luka and Kyrie in the playoffs. They still have some nice other pieces with Tim Hardaway, and they still have some nice other pieces. Again, Hardaway and a couple other guys that can shoot. Finney Smith. That team is not out of the possibility that they can get to the finals. That's not is not when you especially when you have a player like Luka Doncic, anything is possible. They got to the conference finals last year. Would they be one of my favorites? Probably not. My top favorite, no, but they're going to be amongst the teams that will be in contention to get to the NBA Finals for sure. Like you ask me right now, what's is Kyrie probably going? Is he going to get the full max that he 4 years, 200 million? Probably not, but he'll probably get some. He'll get 3 years, 150 million, 3 years, 100 million, something like that. He was on it he like a couple months ago, like before the season come, sort of season started. He was about to be almost out the league the way it was looking. To be honest with you. So this is what this is where the NBA is at right now, and this is also, I mean, show you how much power there is and how much power the players have. The players, again, if you are on a certain level in terms of talent, talent is going to win out more times than not. It just is. Like think about this. You if you're Dallas, right, or any other franchise, this guy just forced himself out of off a team that had Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant. Like I believe that if the Nets had stayed the course, if he stayed the course with the Nets, and they made it, say, to the Eastern Conference Finals or even the NBA Finals, I think more than likely he probably gets his money from the Nets. Probably gets his money. So he goes to Dallas. Um, Again, I think like if you're Dallas, I'm thinking to myself, what would have to transpire in order for me to pay Kyrie? Right. I think I'm be honest with you. I probably have to win the NBA championship. I'm not going to like that's I probably would have to win get at least get to the finals and perform well in the finals. Baseline is the NBA finals. Because I was in the conference finals last year. Okay, so it doesn't getting back there doesn't mean just doesn't carry the same weight, especially in a weaker Western Conference than it was last year. Look at Golden State now. Steph Curry's going to be out through the All Star break, so they it's looking more less likely that they're going to be a factor in the playoffs. Memphis has been inconsistent. Like I said, Denver's played well, but they're not a power. There's no powerhouse teams. I mean, when you still hear and talk about the Lakers possibly still having a shot if they made the right deal, that lets you know a team that's under 500. Lets you all know all you need to know about where the Western Conference stands right now. It's not even anywhere close to the top of the East. Like Milwaukee, Boston, are far, and even Philadelphia to a lesser extent, are far superior teams to any of these Western Conference teams right now. Well, maybe not far superior. I mean, I picked Denver to come out to get to the finals, so Denver's very good. But I just don't. The Western Conference is just not any good right now. I mean, it's just decent. So a move like this automatically elevates the Dallas Mavericks for sure. Now you're going to hear tomorrow the classic overreaction. Oh, they're favorites. Yeah, no, they're not the favorites. Stop it. They're not. They're not the favorites. They're not. Now to the Brooklyn side of this. First of all, I just wonder what Kevin Durant is thinking right now. Like that. Like if you're Kevin Durant, this is your dude. This is a guy who you ride for. This is a guy who you have gone out of your way to defend day in, out, day out, year in and year out. And what has he done for you? Okay. He barely played over the course of over the course of his Brooklyn tenure. He basically sabotaged had a part in sabotaging your season last year by refusing to take the vaccine. Um, he missed a ton of games, but with injuries. Um, was hard. Was terrible in the playoffs last year. Along so was Kevin Durant. So you're Kevin Durant. You gotta be thinking to yourself, what was I thinking? Bringing this dude along with me, or depending on who you talk to, following this dude to Brooklyn. Like you have to be second guessing yourself. You left Steph Curry for a guy that is no longer on your team, and you never made it past the second round of the playoffs. Brought in a guy who basically, in a sense, was the reason why James Harden left as well. Brought in a guy who was the reason why they traded a boatload of assets to get James Harden. When a trade that I didn't even think was frankly necessary when you look at all the compensation that they gave up with the draft picks and with Jared Allen and just that Brooklyn team before the James Harden trade was a legit team. That was a complete basketball team. Offensively, defensively, shooting, they had everything. Everybody talks about the what if with the Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. What about the what if before they traded for James Harden in terms of that team? That doesn't get talked about enough. At the end of the day, James Kevin Durant is getting exactly, frankly, what he deserves. What he deserves. Period. Period. Yeah, I mean, it's like this the saying. It's not personal, just business. This is why players make terrible coaches, terrible general managers. They cannot think from a business standpoint when it comes to winning on the basketball court. You can't see past your friendship and the buddy shit versus, hey, is this guy a fit? Number one. And number two, what is this guy in terms of his basketball character? How many games has this guy missed? That would have shut me off the Kyrie thing to begin with if I was Kevin Durant. Like, dude, you never play. I need you to be on the floor, especially as I'm getting older. I need to miss some games at this point in my career. Like, I'm probably gonna miss 10 to 15 games with various injuries, but I'm in year 16, 17. So you need to carry that brunt, not to be sitting down on the sideline with me chilling, chopping it up. You actually need to be on the floor. Something that LeBron has learned, the hard way with Anthony Davis. But at least LeBron, got Anthony Davis, got a championship out of it before Anthony Davis completely physically fell apart. So the loser of this is Kevin Durant. If there's a winner, I would say the winners and losers. Kevin Durant is for sure in the losers section of this. Not even a question. So Brooklyn, they'll have Spencer Dinwiddie, very good player, can score, inconsistent shooter, not a consistent shooter per se. Uh, I don't, Ben Simmons. I don't like. We can wait for Ben Simmons. I don't trust what that the old Ben Simmons will ever come back. Um, they go from a team that looked like they could contend for a championship to just a middle of the pack team in the Eastern Conference to me. Like they're not as currently constructed. They're not as good as those top three or top four. I think I would take Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, and Cleveland clearly over them, and I probably would take Miami as well. So I think they're like the sixth best team in the conference right now. And they probably would be battling with the Knicks if I'm being real about it. As I look at the standings right now, um, yeah, Brooklyn's currently fourth. The Atlanta, and then after that, yes, whatever. So they to me are like the sixth best team in the Eastern Conference. I'll still give them a slight edge because Kevin Durant is that great over the Knicks, but it's not that big of an edge. To be honest with you, not that big, but they are clearly again not as good as Boston, not as good as Milwaukee, not as good as Philly, not as good as Cleveland, not as good as Miami. Those five are clearly better. Now you're gonna start to hear the talk about is this going to lead to Kevin Durant demanding a trade? We kind of forget, you know, this summer Kevin Durant won it out like a couple months after the Boston sweep, and they kind of stood, but the Nets stood their ground, and they said, "No, we dare you to just take off and sit out the season," which we knew Kevin Durant was never going to do. Those talks are going to be revisited, and frankly, Brooklyn has probably less leverage than they had even during the summertime because they are in a position where, like, I mean, they can try to wait for the best deal, but the team's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I'm not if I'm trading for Kevin Durant, I'm not giving up everything. I'm going to, you might get 80 cents on the dollar for Kevin Durant, maybe 70 cents on the dollar for Kevin Durant, frankly. Like the team that makes a trade for Kevin Durant, if that happens, should if they know what they're doing, if their front office people know what they're doing, they should dictate the terms of that deal if that gets brought up again in the offseason. I don't anticipate that Kevin Durant will ask for a trade like right after Kyrie. I don't. That would be now we would have something like that. That would be that would just blow up the internet. But I don't anticipate that. But in the offseason, after Brooklyn's eliminated in either the second round, probably the first round, uh, Durant is I just can't see a world where Durant does not demand the trade. I just can't. I don't believe it. He can't be looking at this situation and saying that this is how I want to spend the last remaining years of my career, especially of my prime. And before he got hurt, he was playing as well as anybody in the league. Like he's playing at an MVP caliber level, all NBA caliber level. So he's still a legit top five player. That goes without saying. So I don't see I don't see what Brooklyn does moving forward. I don't see a situation where Brooklyn and Kevin that this can go on. The relationship between Brooklyn and Kevin Durant can go on past this year. That's what I just don't see it. I don't. So uh again, winners, Dallas, Kyrie, those are the winners in this. Dallas, Kyrie, um, losers, Kevin Durant, Brooklyn. I mean, that's all there is to it. That's it. That's all there is to it. I don't think that just some more such stuff. Of course, will come out over the next couple of days. This is where we're at. This is where we are at in the NBA as far as stars and being able to demand trades and basically get what they want. Lakers are a loser too. Yeah, Lakers are a loser because even despite the two first round draft picks, Russell Westbrook expiring contract, uh, Brooklyn was like, nah, we good. Nope, nope. I'll be interested to see how much compensation that the Lakers actually offered. If they didn't offer if they didn't offer both those picks, then they might as well they were wasting their time. They were not going to get Kyrie Irving by off both of those picks. And but to be honest with you, do I blame them for not offering both those picks? I'm not going. I don't know. You can't. completely trust Kyrie. There's a scenario where Kyrie completely fucks this up, where he goes into Dallas, tries to challenge Luka Doncic, and this blows up in Dallas. That is on the table. That's definitely on the table. Where those guys' personalities clash, and it's like Luka's like, hold up, I don't. You got a ring, but I'm clearly the best player here, and you got that ring because of LeBron. Like Luka's not for smoke as far as that. This is Luka's franchise. Let's not make no mistake about it. Luka's not gonna be doesn't have a Kevin Durant mentality in terms of like this co-star or co-number one. No. That's not gonna fly in Dallas. It's not gonna fly. And if Dallas was smart, they would have had that conversation with Kyrie and his representatives even before this deal was made. Like, understand you are a number two, and by the way, in today's NBA, being a number two is fine. You're still gonna get your shots. Like you still get a bunch of shots. It's not like the offense. The offense this year has been off the charts. Like the teams are scoring at a ridiculous rate. So you as a number two player, you can be a number three player and get a lot of shots. To be honest with you, so I don't again, Kyrie can fuck this up. He can. So don't. There is a scenario where that this thing completely blows up. Regardless, we will be entertained. Look forward to it. That's going to wrap it up for this latest edition of the Real Deal podcast. I want to send a special birthday shout out to my niece, Chloe, 12 years old. Enjoy your day. And I will see you Wednesday with Rob Sapp.